In this session, we'll explore the Melakartha numbering system, we'll see what a Tanpura is, and we'll look into the rag Chakravakam. Now, as explained in an earlier session, Melakartha raga is one which contains one each of the 7 different swaras that are available in the Carnatic music system, and also they are played in the same tonal order while ascending as well as descending. Now, if you write down all the possible valid combinations of these 7 distinct syllables, then you would get 72 different combinations, and that gives us 72 different possible Melakarthas. Now, I said valid because certain combinations are not really possible. For example, Re2 and Ga1 are, though they have different syllables, they are in fact the same note. Similarly, the 2 and Ni1 and so on. So now you have these 72 different ragas and they have different names like Shankarabharanam and Maya Malav Gaula and Chakravakam and so on. And it may not be really possible to remember all these 72 different names. So there is a system which assigns a number to a particular raga. And that is exactly what's called the Melakartha numbering system. Now, let's see how this division is done. Okay, according to the Melakartha numbering system, the 72 ragas are divided into 12 groups of 6 ragas each. Now, all raga of these 72 ragas have a sa and a pa, and there are no variants. You don't see sa 1 and sa 2 and so on. There's just one sa, there's just one pa, right? So the division of these 72, the first division is done based on the mas. The ragas that have ma 1 will fall in the range 1 to 36. The ones that have ma 2 will fall in the range 37 to 72. The next division is done on the Re and Ga combination. Valid combinations of Re and Ga. So you have 6 different possible combinations: Re1 Ga 1, Re1 Ga 2, Re1 Ga 3, Re2 Ga 2, Re2 Ga 3, and Re3 Ga 3. And finally, the next set of division is done based on the valid Da and Ni combination, similar to the Re and Ga combinations that we saw. Let's have a look at a raga we have already explored, Maya Malav Gaula. We have seen the swaras of the raga, right? Now, this has an M1, so it should fall in the range 1 to 36, right? Next, we look at Re1 Ga 3. That is the third group here of the possible 6 valid Re-Ga combinations. So it should fall in the third sextet of these raga divisions, and that is 13 to 18. So it should be somewhere in this range. And finally, D1 N3, this is the third one. So the third one in this 13 to 18 range is 15. And that is the Melakartha number for Maya Malav Gaula. Okay, the real power of this Melakartha numbering system is when someone gives you a number and then you deduce what the different swaras are. Before we look into an example, let me elaborate a little bit on this. Now, I said the first division was done on the mas, right? So we know that everything with the ma 1 will fall in the range 1 to 36, and everything with ma 2 will fall in the range 37 to 72. And then in each of these, you get 6 sets of ragas depending on the combination on these combinations, Riga combinations and the 1 and Ni combinations, right? So the first 6 ragas will have Re1 and Ga 1 and Da 1 and Ni 1, right? The first raga will have Da 1 and Ni 1, right? The next raga will have this and this group. The third one will have this and this group, and so on, So you'll get 6 different combinations based on this combination. The next 6 will have this and these, and so on. Now, for example, if someone gave you the number 29, right? Let's see what the swaras are. Now, 29 falls in the range 1 to 36, so it should have a Ma 1. Now, if you were to classify this, divide this into 6 groups, you would get 1 to 6, 7 to 12, 13 to 18, 19 to 24, 25 to 30, and 31 to 36. Now 29 falls out here, which is the 5th group, and the 5th group would have 2, 3, 4, 5, this one. So Re 2 and Ga 3, and in this range 29 is the 5th number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what we need. There we have arrived at the swaras in the raga, and this raga in fact happens to be Dhira Shankarabharanam, or as it's commonly known as Shankarabharanam, and the Western equivalent of this is the major scale. There was a system that was followed by the ancient Hindus called the Katapayadi system. So this system drew a correlation between the different consonants in the Sanskrit alphabet to numbers, and they could remember a phrase and they would arrive at a particular number looking at that. And the Melakartha ragas use this system to form a correlation between the Melakartha number and the name of the raga. For example, the raga Maya Malav Gaula, right? If you take the first two consonants, it's Ma and Ya. Find out the corresponding number from this table. Ma is 5 and Ya is 1. Reverse these digits and you get 15. That is the Melakartha number for Maya Malav Gaula. Similarly, for the raga Shankarabharanam, it is formally Dhira Shankarabharanam. So Dhi would be right here 9, and Ra is 2. 9 and 2, reverse them, you get 29. That is the Melakartha number. Now this is a little off topic, but this is actually a very beautiful system. For example, there is a particular Sanskrit shloka. I do not know it because I really don't know much of Sanskrit, but all it talks about is it praises Lord Krishna. You know, it's like any religious shloka which says, Lord Krishna, you are great, you are the protector of the earth and all that stuff. But if you use this system and got like the corresponding digits, you'd find out that it is the value of pi perfect to 30 decimal places. Indian classical music is always accompanied by a drone in the background. This was traditionally done with an instrument called a tambura, or in Hindustani music, which comes from the northern side of India, it's called a tanpura. It looks kind of like a sitar. It's held vertical in position. It is a fretless instrument and it's never fretted while playing. It has usually 4 or 5 strings, and they are tuned to generally a sa and a pa. It depends on the raga. For most of the ragas, they are just like sa and pa. For certain ragas, they use a ma instead of a pa, and certain other ragas they use ni, but those are very few in number, and it sounds something like this. Nowadays people use like an electronic version, which is just like a box that big, and it lets you set the adhara shadja also, so you can transpose it to different scales. Now this thing it serves as a reference point for musicians and vocalists to set their pitch and also to tune their instruments. But what is important to us is that it is tuned to a sa and pa for the most part, right? So if you would play all the strings simultaneously of a tambura, you would get an E fifth chord. This is a very important piece of information, and I exploit it a lot. And as we explore different pieces, I'll talk more about it.